revisarlo, me dijo, este niño tiene un problema cardíaco.
Y cuando nació nos dijeron que el problema del corazón traía una arteria que no bombeaba bien al corazón.
When you're told that your child has a heart condition, then that sets a whole new level of fear and hardship on a family.
Acá en Honduras no hay solución, no hay cirugía de este tipo.
There's not any access, and you just feel helpless and alone. And that's a horrible feeling, especially when it's your child.
They do not have the capacity to be able to do that, and that's where we are able to step in and provide that need.
Try to do everything that we can to break down barriers to access to care, whether it's location, geographic, and or the financial, and or the medical resources to get these children the heart surgery that they need.
We knew that the only way to truly make an impact and really be able to reach these families was to provide that help closer to home. We can't bring everybody to the U.S. I am originally from Honduras. I grew up in San Pedro Sula, and I saw a lot of the difficulties and the challenges that a lot of the people in the community have.
So we got a 3-year-old girl that looks like she's got a pretty good-sized hole between her two pumping chambers, otherwise known as a VSD. That's causing some volume overload to her heart. So she's a great candidate to have both of those connections closed, closing her VSD or the hole between the pumping chambers, and then closing that connection between her aorta and lung artery, which should help her out in the long run.
We've got no worries about pulmonary hypertension perioperatively, you don't think, in that case?
I mean, it's all, she's a bit more worried than it's somebody who was 6 months.
Yes.
But, I mean, everything looks like she's got a big shunt. The big catheter, her PVR would probably be a little elevated.
With the big QP, yeah.
Yeah, with a big QP. She's very dilated, so.
Okay, so we'll get her on the books for second.
Yeah, there'll be 2 VSDs.
Yeah, that's a good way to start out.
For them to take their time to come here and to save these kids' lives, it's humbling.
In addition to the medical team, we bring a group of very passionate volunteers with us. They are interacting with these children that we see. They are interacting with the families. They're coloring, they're blowing up balloons, they're playing with Barbies. They are there to talk with the children and talk with the parents to help ensure them that they know that we're going to do everything that we can to take care of them.
Ánimos, todo va a estar bien.
Cuando yo tuve a Christian, noté algo raro, diferente en él.
Christian, but was such a happy child. He was one of those kids that you really couldn't tell that he was feeling bad.
Y cierto, fue para un día de mi cumpleaños. Es el mejor regalo que he recibido en toda mi vida.
This is me after my surgery. I am completely well. When I got my surgery, I was 1.5 years. They gave me a second chance of life.
Sí saben de que yo fui operado, ¿verdad? Por medio de ellos también, hace 18 años. Va a estar bien, está en buenas manos. Son excelentes doctores, excelentes cirujanos que van a estar aquí y todo va a salir bien.
He and his mom and dad consoling and comforting these families to tell them, look, my son was right where you are 19 years ago, and now he wants to be a doctor. You're going to be okay. Do you have questions? Can I tell you what this journey is going to look like?
HeartGift inspired me to study medicine, and now I'm gonna be a doctor.
And that is his one mission, is to be able to do for those children like HeartGift did for him many years ago.
Well, my thought on bed 1 is that if we were to do anything, it would be a PA band on Thursday. I think that's his best chance of survival. I don't think he'll survive a bypass run. You know, it's a very high mortality operation, even without bypass. But in a child in as difficulty as he is, I don't think there's any real other option. We pause before we begin this case.
Vamos a hacer una pausa para empezar el caso.
And each in our own way acknowledge the sacred privilege and responsibility before us.
Y cada uno de nosotros para pensar en este paciente lo que vamos a hacer.
Would you grant us the strength and courage to do our jobs to the best of our abilities?
Nos das la fortaleza para poder hacer nuestro trabajo a lo mejor que podemos hacer.
And may Noah and her family experience the healing that they seek.
Y que Noah y su familia pueda experienciar la salud que debe de ser, ¿ok?
May nothing stand in the way of you achieving your good purposes in this child's life.
Que nada nos esté en nuestros caminos para que nos puedan lastimar lo que queremos hacer hoy.
Amen.
Amén.
Thank you. Can I have a skin knife? You're ready for an incision?
You know, it's amazing to see how all the different people that come together to save one child. It's a miracle. I mean, it's just truly a miracle.
Part of the role and responsibility of the team that we bring in is to train the local team. And so we have the surgeon that we brought on this trip training the surgeon that lives here in Honduras. We have the anesthesiologist that is giving instruction and giving oversight of the anesthesiologist fellow. Or the perfusionist is training the perfusionist that lives here, that is familiar and knows how to do these cases, but giving extra hands-on training and allowing them to really guide and lead these surgeons while the team that we bring in helps them along and answers questions and gives them input.
The surgeon is made it a point to talk to every family.
Hi, I'm Dr. Camille.
Ella es la doctora Camille.
I did your baby's operation
Ella hizo la operación de su hija.
with Dr. Farharda. Yes. Everything went very well.
Todo fue muy, muy bien.
It was a big hole.
Era un hoyo bien grande que tenía la
And we
niña.
patched it with the lining of her own heart called pericardium.
Lo parcenó con el propio ligamento de su corazón.
And it worked very
Y
well.
funcionó perfectamente.
Her heart is functioning well.
Su corazón está funcionando muy bien.
She has normal heart rhythm.
Tiene ritmo fantástico y normal del corazón.
There's no residual VSD.
No hay residual del defecto que tenía ella ese AIB.
So we're really happy.
Están muy, muy contentos.
De nada. My pleasure.
She's gonna be okay. I know the power of what we are doing at HeartGift. We leave these families with great results. Their child has received a life-saving heart surgery. But for some reason, this time, it is just really sunk in that if we were not here, these children would not survive. They have no hope without the talented medical professionals and compassionate volunteers that come with us on these trips. Our goal this year is to save the lives of over 1,100 children. Whether that's we're bringing children to the United States to one of our 4 chapters in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, or New Orleans, or we're helping children as we get closer to them in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Where a child lives should never determine whether they live. That's what drives every one of us at HeartGift.